Okay, I'm back to start working on the signatures. I'm going to start on this book because this was the first one that I decided I was going to use as a glue book. So let's get a measurement for this book. It measures just over, well, it's about 6 3/4 by 9 3/4. I've got to write that down or I'll forget it. What do I have to write on? Um, 6 3/4 by 9 3/4. So I've got my signatures here. And this will be the outer part of the signature, and it's too tall. So I want it to be an envelope. The flap is here. So what I will have to do is, I want to keep the flap on because I like that. Maybe I'll cut it off. Yeah, I'll cut the top off. So I'm going to keep the bottom sealed, and I will cut the top off. I'm going to cut it at 9 1/2 and see how we like that. That didn't cut all the way through. That was too many layers. I want that to be a little bit shorter. So we're not going to make our pages any taller than, let's say, 9 1/4. See if we can do this. It's still a little bit too close. So let's just do 9 inches. Okay, that's not going to cut. Nine inches. And the width is just about right. Okay, so there is the beginning of the signature. Here is the next page that I had. It's from an old Life magazine, I believe. I'm going to cut this at 9 inches. There isn't going to be a lot of work being done on these pages. I'm just cutting them basically and arranging them. They're pretty much arranged the way I want them, I think. Just going to cut a little bit off of. This is just about the right width, but I'm just going to cut a little off. This one I don't have to cut. This is from a craft book. What I think I may have to do, though, is reinforce that. Just looking for a piece of paper to reinforce it with. Got this old scrap here. I'll cut a strip about 1 inch wide. Not about, I'm going to use my cutter, so it'll be 1 inch wide. cut it to the same height as this one. I'll leave the button on there. I'm going to put some tape along both edges. And then lay this down on the fold of the paper. And then fold the paper again. It's a thick piece of cardstock paper, so it doesn't fold easily. Okay. Next we have this envelope, which I can leave it just as it is, except I'm going to cut a little section out of the middle of the flap. So you can decorate both sides of this, and then maybe I'll put something in there that you can also decorate. Let's do that now. Just looking through my scraps, my big drawer of scraps. I want something a little sturdy. Some monkeys in there. I want this to be, let's do 4 by 8 3/4. Let's try that. Perfect. And then we can, maybe we'll just do this denim piece. It's an old authentique paper pad that I had. I made some smash books with it. So the owner of the book can do what they want, round the corners, glue stuff to it, whatever they want to do. It's kind of liberating to just put stuff in and leave the rest up to you. Maybe that's why I was so excited about it. Then we have a calendar page, which I don't need to do anything to. And this came out of a book. I'm just going to trim up the rough edge. I don't trim up all the rough edges, but those are pretty flowers and I want to make it look pretty. This is a little booklet that came in a Kohl's, or a In Style magazine, I think it is. It's a Kohl's advertisement, and I took the center page out. This is, I think it might be from this book, or no, not this book. It's from a different book. One of the end pages. Just stick that in there because it's pretty. This one I think is too tall, so I'm going to cut this to 9 inches. It's a needlework book. It has classic paintings, and then it had instructions, a pattern and instructions for working it in needlepoint. This is from an old date book that I had. And from this, I think somebody gave this to me. It was like a binder. Insert a photo of the back of your body. Highlight the areas you want to change for your dream, designing your dream body for exercise and dieting and stuff. Somebody gave me that binder and I just cut it up. And this is from an old Norman Rockwell calendar. Well, it's not old, it's 2017. I guess it's old because it's not this year. So I'm going to stick that in there. But put that in the middle so that shows. Okay, so there's one signature ready to go. This signature is, this envelope is a little bit shorter, I believe. Let's see. Nope. In fact, it was shorter than the original envelope, but I had trimmed the envelope down, so now this one needs to be trimmed. So I trimmed it to 9 inches. And should I cut that off? I think I'll leave it on. But I'm going to mend it with something. I'm going to mend it with some washi tape. This is wide washi tape. Whoops. Tore it. Don't need that much. I think I was thinking of going all the way across there. I'll wrap it around a little bit. But I want to use a glue stick on it. Yeah, I could wrap it around that way, silly. All right. So when this is sewn into the book, maybe I should glue a little bit at the top here because the stitches won't go way up here. I'm just going to make sure that that is fastened there. Looking for my white glue, but I don't see it right here. I guess I'll use this. All right, so this one will be open at the top on front and back. So there's that. And we have, just going to neaten that up a little bit, but I'm going to leave those edges there. It's from an appointment book. This is from a stamp collector's book. This is from a children's calendar, or not a calendar. It is, I picked it up at the library. It's about books for kids. So I already folded the pages back. I think I wanted them to be folded that way. And this came from a recipe book, and I am going to neaten up that edge because it's kind of ugly. But I like the picture on that side. An envelope. Where is this open? I don't think it is. It resealed itself. So what I need to do here is cut this. Have to have room for the stitching there, so I'll just cut a little section out. And I don't want it to re-stick to itself, so I'm going to use some washi tape again. And when you use this, you can put something in there that will show through the window. I think it needs to be a little wider. That's a wide piece of stickiness there. How about some tickets? I'm just putting glue on the back of my washi tape. It doesn't feel very sticky, but I'm going to put something on there anyway. If I can find the end of it. I found the end, but I can't dig it up. Okay, let's use this one. Most of the pages don't require preparation because most of them are smaller than is needed, but the envelopes you have to do something with. Ugh, when my fingers get covered in glue, it's a little harder to do everything. Okay, so this is ready to go in. I think I lost the cap of my glue stick. Yep, there it is. Next page I have to trim is another of the Life magazine pages. We want it to be 9 inches. And I'll just trim a little off the edge of the page because it's a little bit bent. Isn't that cute? This was a special magazine special issue about kids. So it did have some kid activity things in it. And then this page is from, like the history of jewelry, a large book that I have. So those are nice big pages. And that fits in there nicely. This one I decided to just sew it in like that. So you can put something in there. But it's a little bit tall. I'll have to close that up. And I'm going to look through my junk mail and whatever I have, some junky stuff, and put stuff in the envelope too. This is actually the page, the end paper from the National Geographic book that I used for my junk journal, my glue book. Here's another page from that cookbook with the really nice pictures. This is just something funny that somebody sent me. Aerobics classes offer many opportunities for healthy exercise. Stretching, toning, strangling the perky size 3 instructor. This is from a book about how to identify stars in the sky. All the pages are black. And this is from a vintage magazine. (1972). So there's that signature. I'm not even sure. I don't think all the signatures have the same amount of pages in them. Because I just had piles of paper on my table and I was just grabbing them and sticking them in. I'm trying to keep count. So this one is going to be a little bit smaller. This one is a 9. Well, actually, I cut them all down to 9, didn't I? So I guess that works. So I'm going to cut the top off of this. This one is open at this end. This one isn't. Yeah, this one's open at the top because I cut it down. So I'm going to cut the top off of this one. Actually, it's the side, but it'll be the top of the page. So you'll be able to put something in there. I'm just going to seal that right now so it doesn't keep getting in the way. All right. This is from a Charlie Brown, a Peanuts comic book. Somebody sent me some pages. So I'm putting that in there. And this was actually an envelope that I got in the mail from Alicia Wheeler. She sent, we did a swap for ephemera one time, and this was the envelope. She made it out of magazine pages and sewed it together. I'll have to cover up our names on the back, or our addresses, I mean. So I'm just going to use that to cover it. Actually, I'll use that side. That way you can write on it or whatever. Okay, so this is open here and it's sticky. So I'm going to cut this flap off because the flap got torn. And of course cover the sticky part. And I will cut this part off. Actually, I'm not going to. I'm not going to have this part open. You can just use this as a page. Got my tape stuck on my page. I'll probably tuck something in there. This, I think somebody sent this to me, or else I found it at a rummage sale, or a yard's flea market, but I'm thinking somebody sent it to me, but I don't remember. So I just thought it was really cute, taking these things off. And it's from 1981. It's got little calendar pieces on it. But I just folded it and it'll make a pretty page in there. It does stick out a little bit. I want to see how it does with the cover. I might want to trim it. Oops. Yeah, I'm going to trim a little. Whoop. You can see it sticks out a little bit. So I'm going to trim a little bit off, even though it's a pretty edge. It's still pretty. Then I have this, which was something I made a copy of a long time ago. It was an old notebook that it was a digital. And I think I put the front in one of these signatures for one of these books, but this is the back. I'm just going to stick that in there. Obviously I never used it. Another page from that pretty recipe book with a really ugly jagged edge. These pages were hard to tear out of that book. But there you go. Some nice fresh looking apples. Another of the calendar pages. A stamp catalog page. I think that might be too tall. Yep, a little bit. And the cover of a sheet music magazine. Doesn't have a year on it. That one's not too tall. And another envelope. I'm just going to cut the flap off of this one, and then we can have tags or things sticking right out of the, sticking up. And whoever gets it can glue stuff on there to cover up that, where the tape was, or where the glue was. And another page from the Finding Stars book. So those are the 3 signatures for this book. They are not very fat. These will be spread out, of course, over the spine, spread out evenly, but the spine, or the book, will pretty much touch at the front, but you will fill it up and watch it expand. So there's that one. I hope you enjoyed seeing that, and the next time you see these books, they'll probably be all done. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.